Now it is my pleasure to welcome someone who most of us already know, Randy Purcell. He first attended Unity in 1980, and amazingly, he experienced a genuine miracle on the first visit. Since then, Randy has served Unity in so many ways, including ex-board member, as a board member, continues to guide and direct in his beautiful leadership ways. And he did the board presidency from 2011 to 2021. Today, Randy continues to serve Unity in more ways than I can even count, including contributing his years of real estate experience to our redevelopment project and his book, Metaphysical Millionaires, A Guide to Enlightened Manifestation. It has frequently topped the number of Amazon bestsellers, and we know what a great gift that was into the world when he published that book. It is currently actually rated 4.8 out of 5 stars, so that's pretty awesome. Please join me in a warm, warm welcome for everybody's friend, everybody's confidant. We love you, Randy, for Unity past president, Randy Purcell.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate Tom a lot. I give thanks for Tom. Tom's choice of songs this morning were incredible. Just the perfect songs for today. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you all again. And a few new faces in the crowd, and welcome. Thanksgiving. I thought today, because we live in this society in which technology has taken this primary role and has literally affixed itself to our consciousness. And in doing so, to some extent, diminished our ability to control what we think. So today's going to be positive and it's going to be uplifting. And to that end, I thought we should start, instead of consuming the news, rather this time, this morning, on this Thanksgiving Day, we decide what news we're going to pay attention to. And so I'm going to quickly run through just a few things that have occurred in the last couple of months that you may not have heard about, may not have been breaking news in the Situation Room. I'm reminded of a little aside that someone said, that the news is so negative that if it were around in 100 years ago, Wolf Blitzer would have come on and said, on the invention of the light bulb, ladies and gentlemen, we've got breaking news as a tremendous blow has been struck to the candlestick industry. So with that said, let's launch into some good news that maybe we hadn't heard yet. Number one, we hear all this bad news about what's going on in the United States, but in a state called New Mexico, guess what they just did? Next slide, Dekai. Next slide. Next slide. New Mexico becomes the first state to offer free childcare for all. Now, we don't even have, we're so proud of our services in Canada. We don't have free childcare for all in any province in Canada, and 49 states don't either. But the state of New Mexico has implemented free childcare for all children between the ages of 0 and 5. Basically paying up to $12,000 per year per child with no limits on the number of children. And this has been a gradual shift. They finally completed it but it has moved New Mexico's children entering kindergarten from the worst readiness in the nation of all 50 states. They had the lowest literacy level in kindergartners in New Mexico. And in 4 short years, according to UCLA, they now have the top readiness of all children. So they're seeing a dramatic effect. They also have chosen to pay teachers the highest, the preschool teachers, the highest salaries in the nation. So big news. We didn't hear that on the news. And yet that's such a profoundly good thing. Why wasn't that put front and square in our consciousness, that this state has taken that move? We don't know, but guess what? We decide what we watch. And if we become better at that, I believe that the algorithm will start rewarding bringing us good news. So on to the next piece of good news. We've all heard about the collapse of the bee colonies and the incredible danger that this poses to humanity, because over 1/3 of the produce that we consume relies on honeybees and their pollination. Well, next slide, Dekai. In Oxford University, they've just come up with an incredible breakthrough. And what they did, because of what's causing the collapse of the bee colonies, it's that humans are intervening in their natural systems, and we're basically stealing their food, AKA honey and bee pollen, and using it and selling it and commercializing it and building farms and so forth. This is resulting in weaker bees who then become more subject to viruses and other types of health maladies, and is causing bee colonies to collapse. So at Oxford University, they put on their thinking caps and they said, well, if it's the fact that there's not enough honey and pollen because it's being restricted, let's find out what's in the honey and pollen and let's make it. Next slide, Dekai. And they have created an exact bioidentical food that the honeybees need in order to thrive. And next slide. Guess what? It radically outperformed their estimates of what the nutritional boost would do for the bees. And it has resulted in 15 times more larvae and extended lifespan. Next slide. Now, social media. I have been critical at times of social media. I started out saying, "Come on, everybody, don't pick on social media. It's great. It's just getting started. We're just learning to use it. It connects people. It's a good thing." But then the research showed what's been happening, and it's not been good. We've all heard about that. But I thought I would share, just because we talk about polarization in society. Well, one of the things that we do is, we make things either good or evil. And social media, in many people's minds right now, there's a lot of evil associated with it. So I would just point out that one of the world's leading water charity, WaterAid, reached out to a fellow on the right of your screen there. Mr. Beast is his nickname. His real name is Jimmy Donaldson. He has, 125 million followers. And they said, let's collaborate and let's raise some money for water. So together with Mr. Beast's help and with YouTube's help, WaterAid reached out and leveraged. Next slide. It's not in the same order I thought it was going to be, but they reached out in total, they got over 10,000 content creators who all participated in advertising this 30-day call for money. And within 31 days, they had raised over $40 million. 31 days. A lowly YouTube creator working with them in his spare time managed to raise that sum of money. And it's bringing, we see the next slide, Dekai? They're hard at work already, bringing clean water to an estimated 2 million people in the most remote and sometimes most poisoned areas of the world. Next slide, Dekai. This is just one of the water jets being turned on, and people are celebrating as water, which had previously been, the scarcest commodity in their life, was now spraying freely out of a fountain, and created, I think, metaphorically, a beautiful rainbow to celebrate. But the people that are getting water are located in Bangladesh, one of the poorest countries in the world, Cambodia, Colombia, Mozambique, Nigeria, Rwanda, Brazil, Kenya, and I guess one of the most, some of the poorest and most poisoned areas of the USA. So 2 million people. So you got one content creator who decides to turn his attention to promoting this cause and social media platforms, and he used all of the platforms, Facebook, even X, Instagram, even the game ones like Twitch and so forth. And in 31 days, he has created sustainable clean water for 2 million people for the foreseeable future. Isn't that amazing? Let's have a hand for that. Let's give thanks that social media can be used for something as good as that. So next up, next slide, Dekai, landlord. Maybe for Dekai, maybe for our online viewers, if you could put my picture maybe just in the bottom corner of the screen so that they can sort of see me talking, just so they don't just see the slide. Next slide. This landlord, 97-year-old gentleman, when he died, he did some good too. This just happened in August. This guy's 97 years old. He owns 20 multifamily homes. When he dies, he leaves it all to a nonprofit housing society in his small town of Wisconsin. And, they just say that this was a great guy. His children said, Dad was just really cared about the people in the community. And so he left all of that to provide housing to his tenants. And some of the tenants said that when they had difficulty or a problem, they just talked to him, and he would just get an agreement with a handshake, and he would wait as long as it took. Thanks for that kind of person in the world, right?
Randy, are you going to do the meditation after the good news or at the end of your talk?
I wasn't aware we were taking questions, but the meditation comes after the news. Yeah. So, landlord Richard Reitz. Again, knowing that people with big hearts exist in our world is something we can give thanks for. Yes or no? Can I hear you say yes? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're flipping through. Okay, so I'm going to jump on a little further now and say that, we get a lot of bad news, but what we lose sight of is that no matter how bad a situation is, everything is always changing. Are you aware of that? This is the law of the universe, that nothing stays still. Every molecule, every atom, every quark in your body is moving. And it's all part of a larger hollow movement that is our reality that is in constant change. And so we are going to now, if you would go to the next slide, talk a little bit. Okay. No, let's skip over that. Next slide. This is Tariq Wawai in Gaza. And I just felt moved to give thanks for the example of resiliency that her and many like her exhibited when, over the last couple of years in Gaza, literally right at the time that the war between Israel and Gaza started, she was starting her first year of university. And she went to school for about a week, and then she couldn't go to school anymore. But she immediately went online and took her classes online and has continued to take her classes online through this entire conflict, along with hundreds of others. And at the same time, there's other young people in Gaza, next slide, who, I don't know, I guess it depends how much news you read, but I wasn't aware how many Gazans were continuing to live their lives and refusing to allow whatever the problems were, and we know what they were, to interrupt their lives. And they would, many of them, hundreds of them, had been engaged and continued to get married. And it's quite poignant when you go on YouTube and you see the videos of their marriage ceremonies taking place in the most difficult of situations. And I look at that and I feel thankful. I feel thankful because they are by their hardship, are showing us that you can continue to have sovereignty over your consciousness no matter what happens to you. So, with that said, next slide. As we're aware, there was a ceasefire announced in Gaza a couple of days ago, and now many hundreds of thousands of people are returning to put their lives back together, which is estimated to take about 15 years. And so I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. As we enter into our meditation. And as we honor the innocents on both sides of the troubled border, let us see that trouble dissolving. And let this ceasefire become a permanent peace. Let us have the moral rectitude and the strength to hold permanent peace between these two peoples. And I know the thinking mind wants to jump in and talk about all the ways in which it could go wrong or might go wrong. And that would be right. There's always possibilities. But we, as truth students, have to have the strength to hold faith in the good in our world, to hold faith. And if we're wrong, it's okay. That won't stop us. It can't and it shouldn't stop us. I want to say thank you for everybody who prayed for an end to the hostilities in this region. We have been rewarded. I give thanks to the universe for hearing our conviction, our belief in peace and making it so, and ending this conflict. And I say, let it be permanent. Let it be the start of permanent peace in the world. So as we come together on this Thanksgiving Day and you rest and you relax in your seat, let us now release everyone, forgive everyone in that conflict and wish them well. Let us see that region on the map, both countries, and let us know that they're just like us, that they're made of the same materials, made by the same processes, and have the deepest desires that we do. Together, let us wish, nay, know that they are in their deepest souls happy, that they can be happy. And when the mind chirps in with why that can't be so, shut it down. Know that your conviction, that your faith, your belief can move mountains. May you all be happy May all people in the Middle East be happy. May they all be healthy and strong. And those that need healing, may it go quicker than they expect. May they all be safe from this moment on. May there be a protective grid of energy that induces harmony and peace in each heart, in each soul. And may they all evolve. May their hearts heal. May their hearts be opened wide. May they so treasure the peace on both sides that it develops a profound appreciation, a profound thankfulness as the troops return home. May they truly understand the meaning of never again. As the Gazans return home, may they appreciate peace fully and completely and know it in their hearts. And may all beings affected by this conflict, may they all live with a cheerful ease, no matter what work is ahead of them. If you feel your heart opening, open it wider now. And ask yourself, have you appreciated your own efforts in your own life? Have you appreciated how hard you work to live your life the best that you can? Can you feel it? Can you feel a love for yourself? It's the first step. Because loving yourself is loving everyone. When you love yourself, you can open your heart more fully. So now bring to mind that one thing that really stands out in your life for which you are most grateful for. Whatever it is. Bring it more fully into your visual field. In your mind's eye, see it clearly. And remember the moment you realized how grateful you were for this event, for this person, for this circumstance, this capability, for whatever it is. Hold that thing in your mind and see it out in front of you about 3 feet and in the top of your visual field. Put your hand on your heart now and say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now, know that you are a part of an energy, a universal energy in which there is no separation. How you feel affects those around you. How you act even more. What if you became a role model for focusing on the way that your heart dictates it should be? If you acted out of love, if you acted out of kindness, how great would the world be if we all did that? So in this moment, on this Thanksgiving Day, let us thankfully give the 5 wishes, the 5 universal goodnesses. Send them to all beings everywhere, even to prisoners on death row, even to violent offenders. Let's open their hearts now. We're in sync. We're on the same frequency. Let's use this field of energy that we've put together to send heart opening, heart expansion to all beings on the planet. And let's send them our belief that they can and will and are happy. Because everybody has a happy moment. It just needs to be expanded. They can and will be healthy. Medical science is bringing major improvements. They can and will be safe as everyone becomes heart-centered on this planet. They can and will reach enlightenment as our group consciousness continually evolves and escalates. And we can and will build a world that works for everyone, where everyone lives with industrious ease, where everyone has enough and all is well. These thoughts held in our collective mind are real. They are things, and they have power. And they add to the millions and millions and millions of other similar thoughts as they slowly move us up the evolutionary spiral to what some have called heaven on earth. So now taking a deep breath and then release. Another deep breath and hold it and release it slowly. And all together, let us say, thank you. Thank you.
There's a calm surrender to the rush of day, when the heat of a rolling wind can't be turned away. An enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. Can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we've got this far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. There's a time for everyone, if they only learn that the twisting kaleidoscope moves us all in turn. There's a rhyme add reason to the wild outdoors. When the heart of the star-crossed Voyager beats in time with yours. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we've got this far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's laid to rest. Oh, it's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best.
Thank you, Tom. There is a time for all of us if we only learn that the twisting kaleidoscope moves us all in turn. It fits in the pantheon of my spiritual canon, the kaleidoscope being a metaphor for the hollow movement of our universe in which we're all connected. Sometimes we're so impatient, but there's a lot of us. And if we could only fully appreciate the good of others and what's happening in the lives of others, we don't need anything. We don't need anything. There's so much good going on in the world. And if we didn't need anything, then we wouldn't fight. It's interesting how it all works together. Your grateful heart, is it a portal to the divine? Question mark. I believe that it is, and I believe that there's good reason to believe it. First, some facts about your heart. Next slide, Dekai. This is Dr. Andrew Armour, who's a neurocardiologist at UCLA. He was the scientist who discovered that the heart has a brain, that the heart thinks, and discovered the location of and quantified the 40,000 neurons, which is a small number of neurons, but they're mighty neurons, exist in the brain. And, you know, science is wonderful, but they haven't got it all figured out yet. You know, we know that. That's why we're so happy we have lots of scientists. But just think, for like 2,010 years, we said the brain tells everything what to do. That's how it works. The brain tells everything to do. The brain tells the heart when to, you know, how to beat, how fast to, you know, to maintain the rhythm. And then this guy comes along and he's like, well, no, actually, the brain has its own mind. And not only that, but it actually sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. So let's investigate that a little bit. The other thing that he discovered was that the heart brain can learn and remember, and that it influences our emotional states. And it also explains when people get heart transplants, how the person who receives the transplant all of a sudden, develops an interest in horses that they never had before. And they go back and check, and yeah, sure enough, the person that donated the heart was a horse lover. It's quite fascinating. Anyways, it sends more information than it receives. Next slide. So let's, oh, no, really? Okay. Yeah, let's go back, please, one. Let's stay on that. I think I have the notes. I thought I had a slide for that, but we had some technical challenges this morning. Our sound guy didn't show up. Our hookup for my notebook computer wasn't there. And you know what? You know what I did? I gave thanks. I did. I said, this means that I'm not going to be as tethered to technology, and that I can get Brian to come in. And yeah, it was just wonderful. So I just refused to accept that it meant any kind of challenge, and it isn't. And we're proving that right now. So the heart can learn and remember, but it does a number of other things. One of its functions is it it maintains and restores your physiological baseline. Like in terms of your stress level, it has like this little fuel tank that says, no, you need to be a little more tense or a little more relaxed, and it interacts directly with the central nervous system. Heart coherence practices help reset the body's stress response, maintain the baseline, and there's growing evidence that heart coherence is involved in the power of prayer and intention. We'll talk about that a little more in a moment. But it also does this thing called social synchronization. We know that the heart emits a magnetic field, and experiments reveal that one person's coherent heart rhythm can influence multiple other people in the room. We all know that when we walk into a room and there's two people are there and they've just had a really intense argument, and you walk in and you just know something, you're being affected by the magnetic field of their hearts. That's what's happening, is that your heart is receiving information from the field, and it is actually sending that information up to your brain and saying something's a little weird here. It's just like, do you ever see those National Geographic videos where they have the lovely gazelles, or on the plain, and then in the grasses comes a tiger, and it peeks out, and the gazelles are there, and then the gazelle goes, and the gazelle didn't, how does the gazelle? But the gazelle knows. The gazelle knows because its heart is picking up the field. It's all connected. Again, we think we're so separate. We're not. So important to know that when we carry around negativity, that we're actually spreading it to other people. And that should be motivation to try to, not see things incorrectly with rose-colored glasses, but also to not see them worse than they really are. Because what situation did you have 2 years ago that is still the red-hot problem? I mean, there could be one or two, but most of the problems that you were upset about 2 years ago, they're over, they're gone. They're like mist, they float away, they're gone. So this is a good reason not to dramatize, because when we dramatize, we actually add strength and weight to the creation of that thing. And quantum physics is telling us that when we hold something as something, we put a label on it, we keep it we slow its evolution down. We slow its shift. So when we have a situation that is undesirable, continually complaining about it out loud and not doing anything about it, but instead complaining about it and dramatizing it and saying, it's always going to be like this, we actually, through our mind power, have the ability to cause that problem to persist. Wow. We are making it persist. We've heard many times over the last 30 years that we create our reality, and this is one of the ways in which we do it. And it takes on a really almost interesting, well, not almost interesting, it's definitely interesting, but it's almost scary that we could actually be negatively impacting other people inadvertently. Actually, because negative thoughts, they're magnetic. So when you have one negative thought, if you entertain it, your mind will give you another one. And then once you have two, it starts to build up a critical mass, and pretty soon all you think is negative thoughts. That's one of the reasons why, anxiety is at all-time highs today, because we've gotten, the advent of social media has made us less effective at curating and controlling the thoughts that we're holding. So when we get this negative news, it stays with us, and we talk about it more. And pretty soon it becomes our reality. So we can counter that, though, by being very careful about how we consume the news. What if you just read the news? You'd probably get more accurate news, and it wouldn't be dramatized. You just know what's happening. Or what if you just went off news entirely? Well, the world wouldn't end, would it? If you didn't watch news for a week, try it. See what it's like. How many people don't watch the news at all? Excellent, excellent. Okay, then my job is done. Move on. The heart receives intuitive information before the brain. The heart receives intuitive information before the brain. In fact, it receives it before it even exists. What do I mean by that? Next slide, Dekai. Next one. This is Dr. Daryl Bem. Perhaps nobody has created more problems in science as a whole, as a methodology, than Dr. Daryl Bem, Professor Emeritus of Psychology at Cornell University. His landmark study in 2011, Feeling the Future, has been not only shown to be true, it's been replicated in academic institutions 6 times. It's to the point, actually, though, where what they call the paranormal or psi taboo in academia is like, if you want to study that, you will probably have a team of doctoral advisors surround you and say, no, it will ruin your career. But what he did is showed that when they put students in front of a computer in which a random number generator selects a photograph to display on the screen, they ask them to wear all of this biometrics, checking their EEG and their ECG and so forth. And they show them a series of very tranquil photos, landscapes and waterscapes and beautiful nature scenes. And then they will put in a terribly emotionally distressing picture, like a terrible car accident where people are mangled or whatever. And when they do that, when they put up the emotionally distressing image, the body reacts. Like it just reacts. Your heartbeat changes, galvanic skin response changes, all kinds of things happen in the body. Well, what he discovered was that when he was doing that the reaction of the heart and the body happened before the picture was displayed. So the heart actually went up like anywhere between 2 and 6 seconds before the picture was displayed. But it gets weirder. It gets weirder than that, because how did I say the pictures were picked? They were picked by a computer using a random number generator. So nobody in the world knew that picture was coming up. But the heart knew. The heart knew. And so Daryl Bem published that, and the science world went crazy, because he's a highly respected professor and researcher in clinical psychology. And it started all kinds of things. It got to the point where they could find no problems with the research and the way that he did it. They got to the point to say, science is broken. Science is broken. If that can be proved, then there's something wrong with our system of science and statistics, and it's just wrong. And there is this taboo in science that is going to have to fall. The founder of quantum physics, Max Planck, famously is quoted as saying, "Science proceeds one funeral at a time." Because once people are bought into things being a certain way, you cannot change them. Got to watch time here. Anyways, we're getting close. So your brain has got incredible, incredible power. And the meditation that we did earlier today, it was based on a metta meditation that was created by the Buddha 2,500 years ago. It is 5 wishes that you give to other people. And in Buddha's inspiration, these are the 5 most basic core needs of all human beings. And when we embrace and when we train our heart, and this is why when I asked Tom to play the song Love Train, it's not love locomotive train. It's like, let's love train ourselves. Let's train ourselves to open our hearts, because the more open and robust our hearts are, the better our intuition will be, and the more we'll be able to influence people within our field to feel good, and the more we will be the change that we want to see happen. And I would greatly encourage anybody and everybody here to take up that practice. There's one other reason, from an intention standpoint. I'll try and go through this real quick. There's a researcher by the name of Dean Radin. He's the chief scientist at a place called the Institute for Noetic Science, which is one of the leading institutes on paranormal research. And he was one of the people that replicated Daryl Bem's research. And he, of course, every good scientist always wants to take it a little bit further. So he said, okay, I'm going to bring in, a control group of college students, and I'm going to bring in a group of meditators, because I think that meditators will outdo normal people because they have this ability to focus. So, their brain is much more aware and sensitive to bodily sensation and incoming information. And lo and behold, his replication, the controls and the meditators together came out. It wasn't statistically significant, but if he threw away the non-meditators and just did the meditators, it was off the charts. They were dramatically higher in their ability to sense the future. But then he got funding to do it again from another organization that is, it's even a little further out there. Their whole foundation is built around the furtherance of esoteric magic practices. And not like magic card tricks, but people that are actually into creating, white magic, if you will. And so they wanted him to test with magicians. And he said, well, actually, that's kind of interesting from a scientific standpoint of view, because meditators, now that I think about it, their focus has been trained by focusing inward. I wonder with magicians, they're always casting their spells out on the world. They're always focusing outward. And lo and behold, when the research came in, nobody influences external situations. And that's a different, a different type of research in which you use mind power to try and influence the outcome of random number generators. These are devices that spit out numbers, and over a set period of time, it will come out to a 1, half the time, and a 0 the other half the time. And so he would have them sit and focus, make it go just 1s for 10 minutes, and then take a break, then make it go just 0s for 10 minutes, and then take a break. And they would measure, how effective it was. And the magicians beat everyone, beat the control groups, beat the meditators. And so what this tells us, and this actually has a point, what this tells us is that when you train the mind, which involves the whole full body intelligence system. Whenever you train the mind, the heart is involved, and so is the gut. There's also neurons in the gut. When you train that in terms of pushing energy, information and energy into the quantum field, it allows you to literally have a tangible effect on matter. And so the theory metaphysically goes, if your mind can affect matter, it certainly can affect other information in the field that would maybe say, for example, how much power your prayers have, say, for example. And the point now, the conclusion of all of this is very interesting, is I am hypothesizing and testing myself right now. And I can attest already ahead of time that when I began meta practice, that the synchronicities in my life started happening like popping left, right, and center all the time, like crazy synchronicities. And meta is innately an outward focused meditation practice. So you are training the heart and the mind, the whole body intelligence, outward energy. And where the hypothesis comes in is now weaving into that gratitude. So that if you put gratitude together with outward focus and energy, I believe that it will have a blessing effect on your life and on others that you affect. I want to close with just a little further, just a couple short. I'm going to bring some scripture into this because it is Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be on the last page. Oh, come on. One momento. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. The meditation gives you all the benefits of regular meditation, increases focus, calms the body, is very positive that way. Yeah, we had such printer problems. Like, I don't even think it printed out. That's okay. I can do it by memory. So, gratitude. It is interesting. First, Jesus said, "These things that I do, you shall do also." If we say, well, that's an invitation to living life at a higher level of consciousness. It's an invitation to living at a higher level of consciousness. He's saying, come do these things that I do. That would then suggest that there are some other things that he maybe left as clues as to how to do that. And so when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, when he arrived at the crypt, he said to Lazarus' sister, Mary, move the stone away from the crypt. And she said, but Master, he's been dead for 4 days. It's going to smell in there. He said, did I not say that if you have faith to believe? She said, okay. And she and her friends, a group of people, rolled a large stone away from the opening of the crypt. And the next thing that Jesus did was, he said, Father, I thank you that you've heard me. And then he said, and I'm saying thank you because I already know that you've heard me, but I'm saying it so these people will also believe. And then he said, Lazarus, come forth. And Lazarus was raised from the dead. Now, is this a metaphorical story? Possibly. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it is a story that has persisted for 2,000 years, and it's very interesting that he stops and gives thanks before he actually attempts to do the miracle. He gives thanks before he attempts to give the miracle. But what about his other miracle? And he obviously he's done many, but when he multiplied the food for the 5,000, the loaves and the fishes, it said when he took the loaves and the fishes, and if you go to the scripture, it says, and after he gave thanks, he distributed the food to the disciples who distributed it to the people. And so once again, before the miracle, he gave thanks. And it's careful to preserve that information. Because you can just say, well, he's a holy dude. Maybe he just says grace every time before he... No, they put that in there for a reason, I believe. So we very much have good reason to believe that gratitude is a metaphysical principle, a metaphysical power, a metaphysical facility that we have, even at a quantum physics level. If I get something and I say thank you, get something, thank you, get something, thank you, what happens if I say thank you? The math says you get something. That's how it works in physics, because time is just a coordinate. It's not necessarily essential to cause and effect. In fact, maybe thanks actually causes the effect. So I'm going to wind up here, and I want to say that I am very grateful for this community. This community is something special, and I want every single person in this room to know that you're a valued part of this community. Brian Law sent me a video last week of a Harvard study where 80 years they asked what was the single most important determinant of how happy you are, how long you live, and how good your later years in life are. And the outcome was it was your relationships. And in this interview, the guy said, yeah, no relationships. She said, what was interesting about the study, it wasn't, most people say, well, I should spend more time with my wife or my kids. But they said, no, that's not it. It's not your family, because that's more about me. You need to expand your field of community to a larger group of people. We all need friends, right? We all need people that we can rely on. And one of the things that I've seen here over the years is that there are people who have come in having difficult times, and others here have reached out to them and supported them. And they have been in tough periods, and those people have been there for them. And it has created an incredible level of support. And the beautiful thing about a community is that you get what you give. And when you're part of this community, if you need someone to talk to, you always have someone. And someone that will be of the right mind, someone who will believe in you and believe in your recovery, believe in your ability to come back from whatever it is. I've seen it here over and over and over and over again. So I just want to thank you on this beautiful Thanksgiving Day for loving yourselves enough to be here, to be continually working on yourselves, making yourselves better, and taking love and gratitude out into the world. And in doing so, making the world just a little bit nicer. Thank you.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday it's going to come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Glide on the peace train, peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump up on the peace train. Ooh, come on the peace train. Get your bags together, go bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer, it soon will be with you. Now come and join the living, it's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer, soon it will all be true. Peace train sounding loud, glide on the peace train. Ooh, come on the peace train. Now I've been crying lately, I'm thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, take me home again. Peace train sounding loud, glide on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Come on the peace train. A peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump up on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ooh, oh. Come on now, come on. Come on, peace train. This is the peace train. Ooh, come on the peace train. This is the peace train. Thanks, Randy.
Give it up one more time for the amazingly talented Tom Arndt. And thank you, Randy, for the most heartfelt Thanksgiving message. And good news. Good news is always good. And just so you know, why don't spiritual seekers ever get lost? Because wherever they go, there they are. Right, Randy? We now come to our time in our service where we get to bless our love offerings. And now our offering statement all together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And if you are here in person, please drop off your donations with the ushers as you exit the sanctuary. And to donate online, simply click on the donate link in your chat window, and you can give via all major credit cards. And now I would actually like to call Roy Prevost up to speak briefly, because we got to get downstairs for pumpkin pie, about our upcoming fabulous online auction.
Well, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Randy, just want to let you know that you stole my thunder because I was going to get up here and give a great presentation on gratitude. So just to let you know, most of you know that I deliver lectures on cruise ships. So the very first thing that I say when I start my lectures is I live in a perpetual state of gratitude. Why? Because I was born in Canada. And why is that important? Because Canada has 40 million people. There are 8 billion people on the planet. And I say, if ever you think that this isn't a lottery win, imagine 8 billion people. It's 8,000 million. So I was part of that tiny little 40 million. So that's the first thing that I feel about gratitude. Which also explains why I'm in Rotary. I wear it everywhere because I believe dramatically in giving back to my community, to my world, to my family, to my friends as much as I possibly can. And so with that thought, I initiated this online auction. It came through a Rotary project that we did, and I thought, wouldn't that be great for Unity? Because we're going through this transition for the building, and it's important that we have great financial health in this community. And plus the fact that we have this great opportunity with Covenant House. Now, here's what I want you to think about, and I encourage you to do this. This auction that we have over 100 items. We have Safeway, Save-On, restaurants, coffee shops. All you do is you bid on the card, the gift card. The gift card's at full value, and the money goes partially to us so that we can have a healthy financial background and we can support some of the things that we're doing, including the rebuilding of this building. And part of it goes to Covenant House. So I encourage you to invite your friends to bid on these items, and let's turn this into a great project because it will, financially, will be very, very worthwhile. And the fact is that in total gratitude, we should all be doing these kind of things and supporting our community and supporting the world we live in. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Roy. And that's very easy to do. You just go to the newsletter, and in there is how to click on to go into the auction, or you can go to the website to do the same thing. So, I'd like to highlight a few of our great events coming up here at Unity. Of course, we have our Course in Miracles study group live here on Tuesdays from 12:30 to 2:30. This coming Tuesday, the class will be taking place upstairs in the balcony. And you're all invited on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock to join us downstairs for a mastermind prayer. It is from 10 till 10:30, and you are all welcome to come and join in a group prayer based on affirmative prayer, and we invite you all to be there in the meditation room downstairs. And just a reminder that tickets for Woodstock Night are available now. We will be having our beautiful Tom Arntzen come out for an evening devoted to the music that defined a generation, and not just Tom, but our whole group of musicians. And you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. Woodstock Night, again, is November 7th, starting at 7:30 p.m. You want to get your tickets early, and you want to get here early. They are $30 and are available now, so please go to unityofvancouver.org website, and you can get them to the Eventbrite through there, or you can just go to Eventbrite as well. But we try to make it easy for you. We also want to mention that we are launching our first reflective roundtable next Sunday, October 19th, from 12:15 to 1 o'clock. And this is an initiative to ensure that you can experience after a service some opportunity to be in a group for learning the skills of reverential listening and reverential speaking in a small group environment. So we want to welcome you all to that space starting next week. And don't forget to join us for our pumpkin pie and whipped cream downstairs. So please join us for that. So we now have the time where we all stand and bring the gathering to a close. So please let us say together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us wherever God is. Amen. Is well. Please remain standing for our singing of the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take,